the traits of the people that are muqtar and fakhur. The first one is الَّذِينَ يَبْخَلُونَ وَيَأْمُرُونَ النَّاسَ بِالْبُخْلِ. They are miserly, they are stingy, they do not want to spend in the path of Allah, they do not want to donate to charity. وَيَأْمُرُونَ النَّاسَ بِالْبُخْلِ. And they also encourage others not to give to charity. وَيَكْتُمُونَ مَا آتَاهُمُ اللَّهُ مِنْ فَضْلِهِ. And they hide the blessings that Allah has given them, so that people won't come and knock on their door asking for donation. And Allah says, وَأَعْتَدْنَا لِلْكَافِرِينَ عَذَابًا مُهِينًا. And Allah has prepared for the kafirin, for those who are ungrateful to the blessings that Allah has given, عَذَابًا مُهِينًا, a humiliating punishment. And another description Allah added, وَالَّذِينَ يُنْفِقُونَ أَمْوَالَهُمْ رِئَاءَ النَّاسِ. And even if they give, so first they are bakhil, they are stingy, they are miserly, they refuse to give. But if they give, يُنْفِقُونَ أَمْوَالَهُمْ رِئَاءَ النَّاسِ. They give it just to show off to people. If there is no one around, they won't give. If there's someone around, then they'll give. يُنْفِقُونَ أَمْوَالَهُمْ رِئَاءَ النَّاسِ. لَا يُؤْمِنُونَ وَلَا يُؤْمِنُونَ بِاللَّهِ وَلَا بِالْيَوْمِ الْآخِرِ. And they do not have iman in Allah, nor do they have iman in Yawm al-Akhir. Because if someone who has iman in Allah, then you will know that Allah would see you giving charity, whether it's publicly or privately. Allah will always know what you have given and what you have not given. So the fact that you only give when people see, this is a sign that you don't have complete iman in Allah. And this is why Rasulullah called riya, or this showing off, a minor shirk. لا يؤمنون بالله ولا باليوم الآخر. And nor does he have iman in Yawm al-Akhir. Why are they separate? Because there are people who have iman in Allah, but not Yawm al-Akhir. Iman in Allah, for instance, the Quraysh during the time of the Prophet ﷺ, they believe that Allah is the most powerful God. It's just that their understanding of God, their concept of God, is like a human being. So if you have the Prime Minister of a country, he may be the leader of the country, but he will not attend to minor problems. You've got problems with your bin, you don't go to Elbow. You don't even go to McGowan, you go to your local council. So because he's got a ton of other things to attend to. So this is the concept of divinity, God, that the Quraysh had. If you've got a small problem, you don't go to Allah. Allah has so much things to look after. He is making sure that the planets are orbiting correctly, the sun don't clash with the moon, the Jupiter do not clash with Neptune and any other planets. That big task, Allah will do it. Smaller task, you want a child, you go to the God of fertility. You want to pass exam, you go to the God of wisdom. So they believe they have a concept of Allah, but they do not believe in Yawm al-Akhir. They believe that if they die, that's it, khalas. So that is why those who are rich and powerful, they'll do anything they want, because they don't believe in accountability. And the belief in Allah is not so problematic to the Quraysh. It is already problematic, but it's not as problematic as belief in Akhirah. Because belief in Akhirah requires them to change their lifestyle. Now believing in Akhirah means they can't steal. Just because they are rich and powerful, they cannot oppress the poor. Because even though they may not be punished in this world, if they believe in the Akhirah, there is punishment in the Akhirah. So this was very offensive to the Quraysh. So Allah separated the two. Allah says, وَلَا يُؤْمِنُونَ بِاللَّهِ وَلَا بِالْيَوْمِ الْآخِرِ. Whether you believe in Allah and you don't believe in Yawm al-Akhir, you know that Allah will see whether you give or not. And if you believe in Allah and Yawm al-Akhir, all the more reason that you should give. Rasulullah said, Sadaqatu burhan, Sadaqatu burhan. That charity is that clear evidence you believe in Yawm al-Akhir, in the hereafter. And Allah says, وَمَنْ يَكُنِ الشَّيْطَانُ لَهُ قَرِينًا. Now, those who have made shaitan for them as qareen. Those who he has made shaitan for him, qareen. Qareen is similar word with khalil, your best friend. Now, I know the word BFFs today is thrown around everywhere. You have multiple BFFs, which grammatically doesn't make sense, because the best means only one. You have best friends forever. There's so many bestest friends. Khalil is that friend. Qareen is that friend that when you see him, you see the other person. You see Umar, you know there's Faza somewhere at the back. That was before he got married. Now no more. So you don't see Faza here. You see Faza, you know that Umar is somewhere in the vicinity. That is Qareen. Alright? And Allah said that those people that are so stingy, they don't believe in Yawm al-Akhir, they don't believe in Allah, don't believe in Akhirah, their Qareen is shaitan. وَمَا يَكُنِ شَيْطَانُ لَهُ قَرِينًا فَسَاءَ قَرِينًا. That is the worst of qareen. And shaitan, Allah says, وَزَيَّنَ لَهُمُ أَعْمَالَهُم. وَزَيَّنَ لَهُمْ أَعْمَالَهُم. Shaitan will beautify your evil deeds. He will whisper to you, come on, this is so awesome. It may be haram, but you're still young, Just do it now, and then make tawbah later. Shaitan is also sometimes can also be a good accountant. That corruption, you cheat the masjid, you cheat $50,000, and then you give back $5,000 to charity. Remember, every dollar that you give to charity, Allah will multiply by 10. So now you are equal. You take 50,000, you give back $5,000 to charity, 50,000 reward, 50,000 sin. Khalas, balance, and you have 45,000 to spend. But by the way, don't do that because Rasulullah said, Allah is tayyib, Allah is pure, وَلَا يَقْبَلُ إِلَّا طَيِّبًا. He doesn't accept except for the pure. If you have haram money, for instance, you have riba, interest from the bank, you have to give it away. You cannot take it. But those that you give away from the riba, you don't get any reward from it because it was never yours to be given away. So if you steal money and then you give to charity, that according to the shaitanic accounting, you still don't get rewarded for it because that money wasn't yours to begin with. Now shaitan, this qareen of yours that will whispering all the crazy ideas, brilliant ideas to do haram things, when it comes to meeting in front of Allah Azza wa Jal, when we stand before Allah Azza wa Jal, the shaitan said, what would the shaitan say? مَا كَانَ لِيَ عَلَيْكُمُ السُّلْطَانِ. I did not have any power over you. إِلَّا أَنْ دَعَوْتُكُمْ فَاسْتَجَبْتُمْ لِي. I only suggested and you answered. I called you, you responded. فَلَا تَلُومُنِي وَلُومُوا أَنفُسَكُمْ. Don't blame me, blame yourselves. I did not force you. I just suggested. Allah gave you a brain. You could have thought that this is haram, this is bad. You chose to listen to me. So this best friend of yours, ours, unfortunately, if we fall into this category, maybe not. If shaitan becomes our best friend, he may be the best friend suggesting crazy ideas in this world, but when it comes to akhirah, we are left to fend for ourselves. وَمَاذَا عَلَيْهِمْ? And Allah asks, this is a rhetorical question. وَمَاذَا عَلَيْهِمْ? What's wrong with them? لَوْ آمَنُوا بِاللَّهِ وَالْيَوْمِ الْآخِرِ. If they have iman in Allah and the hereafter, وَأَنْفَقُوا مِمَّا رَزَقَهُمُ اللَّهِ, and they give to charity from what Allah has provided them. Now this is beautiful. Allah is reminding us that they are giving, when you give to charity, the money did not come from you to begin with. The money was given to you by Allah. مِمَّا رَزَقَهُمُ اللَّهِ. It's given to you by Allah. So why are you so stingy? It wasn't yours to begin with. The Chinese, they have this saying, the first generation, they work hard and they make a lot of money. The third generation, they expand the business, and the second generation, they expand the business, and the third generation, they squander the business. Because to them, it wasn't their money to begin with. It was their grandfather's money, their father's money, so they just spend however they want. And they buy this super yacht, they buy this super car, they buy this crazy shoes and watches and so on. They spend like there is no tomorrow and squander the business. Why? Because they don't feel that ownership over that wealth. So when you don't have ownership over that wealth, you don't feel bad spending. It's easy to spend money that is not yours. We were just talking about Singlish just now before Isha. The Singaporean, they have a saying, the Malay also, they've got a saying, why, you think this is your grandfather money, what? You spend money, you think this is your grandfather's money? Like there's no tomorrow the way you spend it. So Allah said, مِمَّا رَزَقَهُمُ اللَّهِ. Allah wants us to treat wealth when it comes to charity like that. That you don't feel bad spending in the path of Allah. Because Allah was the one that gave you the money. But Allah doesn't expect you to give everything. He's not asking for much. He's asking only for 2.5%. That's the minimum requirement of zakat. In minimum 2.5%. If you can't give even that 2.5%, clearly you've got problem with iman in Allah and Yawmul Akhir. This is what Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, also in this ayah, Allah links charity with iman in Allah and Yawmul Akhir. وَأَنْفَقُوا مِمَّا رَزَقَهُمُ اللَّهُ وَكَانَ اللَّهُ بِهِمْ عَلِيمًا. And indeed Allah is most knowledgeable about them. Whatever that you give, whatever that you don't give, whatever is in the heart, whatever that is expressed. إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يَظْلِمُ مِثْقَالَ ذَرَّةٍ. And Allah will not wrong anyone, not even the weight of a dharra. Now dharra is today is generally translated as an atom. So it's dharra is the smallest possible unit that is indivisible. So atom is that. That's the whole. I know now we know that atom is divisible, but classical physics would say that atom, the definition is the smallest unit that is no longer divisible. So dharra, as small as the dharra, Allah will not wrong anyone. If you've done a good deed, you will be rewarded, even if it's the weight of a dharra. If you've done an evil deed, you will be punished, even if it's the weight of a dharra. That an atom's weight of good and atom's weight of bad. And there's a narration about Umar ibn Khattab when he was asked about the ayah in the Quran that he likes. And then he said, فَمَنْ يَعْمَلْ مِثْقَالَ ذَرَّةٍ خَيْرًا يَرَهُ. Said that those who do good deed, the size, the weight of an atom, of a dharra, Allah would show it in Yawmul Akhirah. You would see it, you'll be rewarded for it. The scariest ayah, the ayah after that. وَمَنْ يَعْمَلْ مِثْقَالَ ذَرَّةٍ شَرًّا يَرَهُ. If you do an evil deed, the weight of a dharra, that also will be shown to you. You will be held accountable for your good deed. So Allah said that He will not wrong you, not even the weight of a dharra. وَإِن تَكُ حَسَنَةً. If He were to find hasana, a good deed, any good deed, يضاعف, He would multiply it. He would multiply the good deed, يضاعفها ويؤتي من لدنه أجرا عظيما. And He would give from Himself, especially from Him, a great reward. Now, the way our accounting works with Allah, now we just did this with the crew this morning, our accounting system with Allah, is that Allah wants us to get to Jannah. Every single good deed gets multiplied. Every single evil deed do not get multiplied. If you intend to do a good deed, you haven't done it yet, you just intend. I intend to wake up for suhoor tomorrow. And suhoor is sunnah. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, "Tasahharu fa inna fi sahuri barakah." Wake up for suhoor, eat something, because there is barakah in suhoor in the morning. You just intend to wake up for suhoor. You haven't woken up yet. That intention is already rewarded. And then you wake up and you do it. Then the action gets multiplied. 10. In Ramadan, multiply even more. 700 and even more. Wallahu yudha'ifu liman yasha. Allah can multiply as much as He wants. But an evil deed, if you intend to do an evil deed, nothing is written. You do an evil deed, one sin is written. You intend to do an evil deed, nothing is written. You cancel the intention, Allah will reward you with a hasanah for cancelling to do an evil deed. So Allah really wants us to enter Jannah. The question is, are we going to take that opportunity? The path to Jannah is made easy. There's a harder path to get to Jannah. You have to work extra hard to get to Jannah. Why are we working hard to get to the wrong side of the fence? فَكَيْفَ إِذَا جِئْنَا مِنْ كُلِّ أُمَّةٍ بِشَهِيدٍ. Allah, this is talking about Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, about Yawmul Qiyamah, that every ummah, فَكَيْفَ إِذَا جِئْنَا مِنْ كُلِّ أُمَّةٍ بِشَهِيدٍ, that every ummah will have a witness. There will be people testifying about the ummah, the deeds of this ummah. وَجِئْنَا بِكَ عَلَى هَؤُلَاءِ شَهِيدًا. And Allah said that we are going to make you're going to come, Ya Rasulullah, this talking to our Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, عَلَى هَؤُلَاءِ شَهِيدًا. You are going to be witnesses to these people. Now, who are these people? Remember, Allah has spoken about two groups here. The group that refused to give, and the group that Allah says, وَإِن تَكُ حَسَنَةً يُضَاعِفْهَا. Those that Allah that does good deeds and Allah will multiply. Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam will be witnessing, testifying on our behalf. It could be on our behalf or against us. It could be against us. Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam could testify, Ya Allah, this is my ummah, he has done this and that, I give him ishfa'la, give him the shafa'ah and so on. Then we get to enter Jannah with the shafa'ah of our Prophet, our waiting and mahshar is shortened and so on. But the opposite can also happen. If Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam would testify against us. And Allah recorded this testimony in the Quran. Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is going to say to some of the ummah, of some of his ummah, Ya Rabb, inna qawmi ittakhadhu hadha al-Qur'ana mahjura. My master, my people. Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is not talking about some other people. He's talking about inna qawmi, my people, my ummah, ittakhadhu hadha al-Qur'an. They have taken this Qur'an mahjura and abandoned it. So So they've taken the Quran and abandoned. Now the asbab al-nuzul in the context of this ayah refers to the Quraysh. They've heard the Quran, they know the Quran is true, they're amazed by the Quran, but they choose not to follow it, they abandon it. But one of the principles when it comes to tafsir of the Quran, al-ibrah bi'umum al-lafz la bi-khusus al-sabab. That the lessons that we derive, we take it from the generality of the statement, not from the specific reason of revelation. So when we read this ayah and you look into the tafsir of Mufassirin, we say this ayah could be read against any of the ummah of the Prophet, because inna qawmi ittakhadhu, qawmi, any of my people, they have taken the Quran, and we have been given the Quran. We have accepted the responsibility of the Quran. We've learned how to read the Quran. We read the Quran. But do we implement the lessons in the Quran? Do we implement what is it in the commands in the Quran? Or do we just take it, we read it for protection, we read it before sleep because we don't want to wake up in the middle of the night for nightmares, we put it in our car because we want to skip on insurance, we have Ayatul Kursi instead as protection from car accidents, but we don't look into the lessons, we don't transform our lives based on the teachings of the Quran. This is mahjura. We have abandoned the Quran. We have shifted the objective of the Quran. The Quran is there to guide our life, not to beautify our house. Beautifying our house with the Quran is good. There's khilaf among the scholars. Some scholars do not like it because they said that it loses the sanctity of the Quran. Now Quran becomes, especially some people, they write in beautiful khat that no one can read except for the khattab himself. It loses its meaning of a reminder. It now just becomes a decoration, just like any other decoration. But if it's up there as a reminder, you can read it. Every time you want to go, you walk into your house, هذا من فضل ربي, this is a gift from Allah. Then you are grateful. لئن شكرتم لأزيدنكم. I'm grateful, Allah will add. You understand it, then it becomes a useful decoration. So when we take the Quran, but we use it in places that it's not the objective, the reason of the revelation of the Quran. We don't transform our lives based on the teaching of the Quran. Rasulullah may testify against us. May Allah protect us from among those people. يَوْمَئِذٍ يَوَدُّ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا وَعَصَوُا الرَّسُولِ. That is the day, this is Yawm al-Qiyamah. يَوَدُّ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا, the disbelievers, the kuffar, and those who وَعَصَوُا الرَّسُولِ, and those who disobeyed the Prophet. They wished. This is the deepest wish. Wadda is it's you have in Arabic you want something is urid, arada. But this is the deepest wish in your heart is Allah will the Arabic word for that is wadda. And Allah, one of Allah's name is Al-Wadud. Al-Wadud is the most loving, because and the mother is the Wadud is usually the love that is used applied to a mother. The kind of love that the child will always be in the mother's heart. And this kind of love, I'm a father, and those fathers can also probably agree with me. Sometimes we go out with friends, we tell I've got children. You forget about picking out your kids from school and those things. But the mother doesn't do that. This is al-wadud, the kind of love that is always lingering there. So wadda is the kind of love that is the kind of wish from the deepest heart that you really wish. And Allah says in Yawm al-Qiyamah, on that day, the deepest wish of those kuffar and those who disobey the Prophet, لَوْ تُسَوَّى بِهِمُ الْأَرْضِ. If the earth is just flattened, that's it. No Qiyamah, no resurrection. Let's just be done with it. We're dead. Khalas. Close the chapter. We don't have to be resurrected. And Allah says, وَلَا يَكْتُمُونَ اللَّهَ حَدِيثًا. Allah will not hide anything on that day. Everything will be resurrected, everything will be shown, everything will be accounted for. Inshallah, we continue a new passage tomorrow. Tomorrow will be a bit about prohibition of liquor and wudu and a few other things, and tayammum as well. Inshallah, we continue that tomorrow. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله العظيم لي ولكم.